Welcome back, folks, to another experiment as the race to the Premiership continues. We did our first one with Manchester United, of whom it only took 9 seasons, winning 7 titles along the way. Today we're going to have a look at Man City. As you can see, Man City are in the Premiership, but it has taken them a little bit longer. So let's have a look at the history of Man City, and let's start off where we left them in the Northwest Division 1 North, which they've won quite comfortably, actually. In fact, I think they've done slightly better than what United did up to the Vanarama National. They hadn't lost a game in the league up till then. So that's probably, 6 seasons where they haven't lost a game, and they've won the title each time. They've only drawn 8 games in total, 7 of them coming in the Vanarama National. 161 goals there, 1 conceded. Although United did have a lot of non-conceding seasons. So United probably done better on that front. It'd be interesting to see how many players they let go in order for this to happen, or not so, as the case may be. So they carried on there. So and then they faltered a little bit. So League 2 was a little bit of a struggle for them. The first season in, 10th, they finished 10th. They lost 14 games. Now, I'm assuming they lost a lot of players by then. 68 points, that's not good. Mid-table, that's pretty poor. The following season, I'm reckoning they got through the playoffs. Again, losing 12 games. So they really struggled to get out of that league. But League 1 was a breeze. Straight through. Finishing first, losing 6 games along the way, 88 goals, 42. So I'm assuming they're trying to re-establish themselves then at that point. And then again, the Championship, which we all know is quite hard to get out of. Finished 16th, almost got relegated back down, which would have been quite amusing for us Man United fans. Man is 16, I think that's the first time we've seen a negative goal difference, though, to be fair. But the following season, they finished second, automatic promotion place, I guess, 94 points. And then they finished 6th in the Premiership in their first season. So all in all, it's taken them 11 seasons to get here, 7 league titles along the way. But as it stands, United are leading the way with doing it in a minimum amount of time, with 9 seasons. Let's have a look at the bank, see if they are. It's £614 million in the bank. Wow, a lot of money. They've got an awful lot of money, actually. £500 million, just over. They've got only 77 million in the transfer bank, and they've got about £1.5 million just over left of the transfer budget. So yeah, not doing relatively that bad, though, I reckon. But £500 million, that's quite a lot. I'm assuming they've had a lot more investment. So let's just have a look at how well they did do. If we go through all the schedules and let's have a look at the sort of a form that they have been in. But yeah, it's taken them a while to get here, I have to say. And first off, the first season, the couple of friendlies, Zaragoza and Stuttgart, they lost. But apart from that, a couple of points dropping. They were in the Champions League as well, don't forget, playing PSG, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Bowers and Pitsy. That's the FA Cup, actually, qualifying round. They had to go through the qualifying round, which is quite amusing. The 7-0 victory in the build base. So a lot of wins here. Are they still FA Cup second round, Shrewsbury the win, the Vars 4th round, the Emirates FA Cup, they beat Chelsea, then they beat Birmingham, still in the other cup competitions. They did lose to Juventus in the first knockout round in the Champions League, losing 2-1 and then drawing 1-1 at home, so that ultimately knocked them out. But that was the first knockout round, first leg. Still continuing in the League Cup, the FA Vars, they get knocked out by Stoke on penalties in the FA Cup 5th round. But they go on to this final in the FA Vars, of whom they beat Wroxham 4-0. And did they win that other cup competition as well? Oh, yes, they did. Avro 3-0. So they're getting a few cup competitions. A game, again, you'd expect them to. But not many losses along the way. 4 losses all season. So that's a very, very good start for them. Let's just have a few. There's a 9-0 there against AFC Liverpool. I bet they enjoyed that. A lot of the players that stayed with the club for the first season, obviously Silva, Foden, Sterling. We'll see how many of them move on along the way. But let's move along to the next one. A better start. Friendlies. They picked the friendlies a bit more carefully this time. But again, they started off very well indeed. 9-0 again. Runcorn. And they're not conceding many goals at all. They had a 5-1 thrashing by Man United. I'm sniggering behind the microphone, as you probably would guess. But 5-1. Who scored? Rashford, Eduardo Camavinga. We've got Martial and Diallo as well. Diallo is, I think, one for the future. They've got now an absolute bargain. But carrying on with Man City, a 7-0. They've had I think there was an 8-0 I've just seen down here. Yeah, against Burskov. They get to the... they're still carrying on in the Vars and the League Cup. They won the New Counties Cup final League Cup again against St Helens, this time 3-0. And they continue to the final to the FA Vars, 3-0 against Wickham. Lovely stuff. The following season then, let's have a look. Again, they start off the friendlies pretty decently as well. And again, just winning along the way. They're losing the FA Cup first round this time. They're to Harrogate. Harrogate, I'm assuming they would have been in League 2. Missing out on penalties. So that's probably a disappointment for them. I'm assuming by now they would have lost a couple of players. Carrying on in the Cup games again. The League Cup, North West Counties Cup semi-final, and then the final, the win beat City of Liverpool 2-1. They're carrying on in the FA Vars, of which they beat Bodmin in the final again. Again, a lot of good results in there as well. A 7-0 more notably against Grimsby. Moving along very swiftly. Again, the start of the friendlies. Benfica and Levante struggled a little bit against, but in the league, not a problem at all. Coasting past a lot of teams. They do lose in the FA Cup 4th round though to Crystal Palace 2-1. They probably don't like that. But again, looking around a Velocity Trophy final, I'm assuming that is another cup a League Cup competition, I'm guessing. They beat Barton Rovers 2-0 in the final there. They carry on to the FA Trophy this time, not the Vars. They're into the final of that. So they did enjoy. No, they lost in the semi-final side to Hartlepool. So they didn't carry on winning. So I'm assuming the FA Trophy replaced the FA Vars as you go up the tiers. But yeah, again, a relatively successful season again going through. So again, they lost to Stoke in one of the losses they did in the friendlies. But again, they started off strongly once again. The FA Cup first round, they are struggling in the FA Cup now. I'm assuming the majority of the players have now left. But we'll have a look at that very closely indeed. But again, progressing through to the cup competitions once again, reaching the final. Southern League Cup final win against Hungerford, 2-0 there. To go into the final of the FA Trophy this time. The slight hiccup last season and beat Bromley 2-0. But the games are looking a little bit more tighter. There's no big, massive wins in there. So moving the season on a little bit further as well. Builder Base Trophy, they started off early. And carry on forward. So they're progressing through the FA Cup, but they lose on penalties to Huddersfield this time in the 3rd round. Continuing through the other cup competitions as well. They're not losing any games at all, are they? The FA Trophy, they win 2-1 against Havant Waterlooville. Lovely stuff. Did they not win the other cup? Is that the other cup competition they were in? It looks like they was in the trophy and the FA Cup in this one, so there's no League Cup. One, right? I'm assuming they hit League Division 2 here. Well, yes, they have, and they've literally come unstuck. I think it was maybe a promotion too far at this point, but even so, they're still continuing. They're losing a few games in the league, though, as you probably wouldn't expect them to. Shrewsbury, York being some of them as well. Wrexham, Notts County even beat them 2-1. They're still in the FA Cup, though, and I'm assuming still in the other competitions as well. Trophy, they get knocked out in the 3rd round to Bath. City there, 3rd round in the FA Cup against Bristol, this time 1-0. But they do bounce back with a 5-0 over Burton there, so the form in League 2 started to pick up a little bit. They lost in the quarter-final in the Papa John's Trophy as well to Bristol Rovers this time, 2-0. And then they're a little bit of a collapse in the league as well. And did they go through in the FA Trophy? No, they lost. Yeah, they lost to Bath, and then they lost in the Papa John's Trophy as well, and the FA Cup. So inside a month, they came out of all 3 competitions. So that was unfortunate. So the League 2, second season in League 2, they get promoted this time round. The Carabao Cup they get involved with, and they get knocked out in the 2nd round to Wolves 4-0. Papa John's Trophy, Blackburn are in there, Harrogate are in there. I don't think they went through in the Papa John's this time. Probably not a trophy they're probably interested in. But the FA Cup, Swindon 3-2. A lot of draws happening in there, but they're not losing. But they did lose to Ebbsfleet in the FA Cup 2nd round. No other cup competitions to think about, but they go through the playoffs. Coventry twice, a draw and a win, and then Bradford in the final. Moving along to, there's a lot of seasons. There is 11, 12 seasons that they have played. 11 of them to get to the Premiership. I'm quite shocked, I have to admit. But again, I'm assuming big players have left earlier than what they did at Man United. They get knocked out in the 1st round against Hull, continuing their story in the Papa Johns, which I'm assuming they don't really want to play that anymore, but they get knocked out by Liverpool under-23s in the second round. The FA Cup, they're continuing. Third round, they get knocked out by Sheffield United. And yeah, they're kind of a little bit of a mixed bag, really. Doncaster losing, and the Plymouth, that could have kiboshed their promotion push there. Them League One, they really struggled here in the first season. Let's have a quick look. Not doing as well. They lost all their friendlies pretty much. In fact, yeah, they have lost a lot of friendlies there. They didn't start off well this time against Stoke, but we all know the Championship is very, very difficult. Papa John's Trophy, they went through from the third round though, and the quarterfinals. Did they actually win it? They lost in the FA Cup fourth round to Brighton. 3-0. They get to the final of the Papa Johns and they win that. Grimsby. I think it was this season that they did go through on automatic promotion. And yeah, they kind of struggled in the last couple of seasons, though, it has to be said. I think it's League One that they got promoted straight away, possibly. But yeah, Carabao Cup, they got knocked out by Bristol City, I think it was. And FA Cup third round. Fourth round, they get knocked out by Watford 3-1. Probably not what they wanted to see. But yeah, that's about it there. I mean, I think they got promoted in that one. And then the final season started off pretty well. Getting back to the big time. I'm finishing at 6th overall. And they get knocked out by Fulham on penalties. The FA Cup 6-1. Their fourth round, they lose to West Ham 3-0. And yeah, they get themselves into 6th, probably into Europa League spot as well. So it's a very, very good return, but it has taken them a little bit longer than it did Man United. Let's have a look at some of the transfers that they will have done as well. So if we just go all the way back as well, just see how quickly some of the big stars lasted and see when they actually got rid of them as well. Right, we start off 65 million they let go. So if we just put these in order, Jesus went for 28.5 million straight away to Arsenal. They lose John Stones. Benjamin Mendy went to Southampton, and some of the other youngsters as well. Not sure I recognise any of them. Ben Knight, he does ring a bell, but apart from that, a lot of youngsters going earlier on. But they do bring in a few players, not an awful lot. Bernardo for Brighton, second season. Oh, they spend 138 million though. Bernardo, oh, that's the confirmation from the end of last season. Liverpool Origi, they bring in, and 57 million for Bino from Liverpool again. So they did bring in a couple of Liverpool players. Guerrero, he goes to Real Madrid on a free. Let's see how well he did. Does he bring up a history? I thought it might have done actually, but it strangely doesn't. For some reason, retirement doesn't really suit them, does it? It doesn't give out everything. Eric Garcia goes on a free. 101 million. Raheem Sterling goes to PSG. 37 years old. He's still playing. How well did he do in the lower league? So he only had the one season. 20 goals, 12 assists. Not that impressive considering he scored over 100 goals. But you would expect a little bit more though from the young man. But 101 million to PSG. What a sale that is. Kai Walker went to West Ham. Jack Harrison, Zinchenko to Wolves. Who else is 61 million? Bernardo Silva to Barcelona. How well did he do? He's in director of football now, actually. And 17 goals, 11 assists. Nathan Ake went. Any big ones in there? There we go. 30. So Edison's went to Chelsea. Cancelo went to Chelsea. Norwich pick up Stefan. And wow, some big players are just out early doors actually. 34 million. Ruben Diaz went to Arsenal. And Ferran Torres, they lost a lot of players very early on their fight back to the Premiership. Following season, 25 million they spent. Dual Fry from Nottingham Forest. Stengs McCarthy. Who did they let go? Let's have a look. 52 million. Phil Foden's gone to Southampton. Laporte went to Tottenham. So Phil Foden, how old is he now? 32 years old. Very, very good indeed. How well did he do with them in the lower leagues? 20 goals, 15 assists, 17 and 17, 13 and 11. Not bad at all. Rodriguez went to Porro. Mendy, did they not only just sign him? 9.5 million to get rid of him? Yeah, they did. They brought him in the following season before, and then they sold him for 9.5 million. So a little bit of profit on him there, I guess. Lazio take up Broth, and then some of the other youngsters as well. Anybody really went on a free? I'm sure there's players that were released, but we can't see them on here, which seems a little bit odd. They spent 37 million the following season. Anybody really of note or big spend? Not really. No, I do apologise if I don't know any of them. But Origi went for 50 million to Newcastle. Stefanovic to Crystal Palace. Fabinho went for 32.5. Bernardo 8 million. Dale Fry, and then some more. Tedic as well to Burnley. But yeah, other than that, Jason McCarthy, I thought they only just brought him in as well. But apart from that, they are losing players left, right and centres. They come in and then they go straight away. Let's have a look. The 62 million sold. Morgan Rogers. Kevin De Bruyne, he finally went to Chelsea. 19 million. 40 years old now. Do we get a history with him? We do indeed. Let's have a quick look. 12 goals, 30 assists. Now the assists, 42 goals he gets involved with. So that's excellent. Following season, 23 assists, 13 assists, 20 assist king. Or what? But when he left to Chelsea, he didn't really perform. The first season he did okay, but overall 108 assists, 141 goals. I think he's an absolute fantastic player, and he did well to last as long as he did, though, to be perfectly honest. Alex Robertson went to Brentford, and there's a couple of other players there as well. Next season, anything really? I mean, we are starting to get closer to the Premiership here. £26 million sold. Nobody really of note there at all. 44 million spent. Who's the biggest one? This guy here from Liverpool again, no less. Very, very good actually. Very good. And yeah, he had the one season, and then they sell him on. 12 goals, 5 assists. They're starting to wind down the spending a little bit. 1.8 million this time. Spend it's not a lot at all, is it? But selling wise, Vera's just went for 21 million. We got Stengs 23. And then a couple of other players as well. That Esbrand, I'm thinking he was a left back. He was. I do recognise that Esbrand. I think I had him on a save before. I think it might have been Bolton in FM20. A very, very good left back. But how he was with Man City for quite a while. He didn't really feature. Not many assists as you probably would expect your wing backs to do. So apart from that, I don't recognise any other players. Joe Rankin Costello, I think I do recognise him. But apart from that, Thierry Traore, I think they only just got him and he now is gone again. He's actually went on loan, so a lot of players going out on loan the following season. 375,000, the spending is not all there then, is it, at all? And selling wise, nothing really of note there. Again, very, very little money being spent in that season. Now, I'm assuming they got into the Premiership with this season, or the last season in the Championship. Sorry, so 92 million spent. Who did they spend it all on? 18 million on Ben Davis. Looks pretty decent. Been with them, then went out on loan to Valencia, and then they bring him back. Yeah, not too bad. 25 million it's cost them. But yeah, not too bad from that left-hand side. Salgado from Wolves. Chalobah from West Brom. £337 million bought in. This was the season that they were making the push then, I guess. I'm assuming there's one more season. There is one more season. So, yeah. £32 million let go. 7 million more notably. But apart from that, I don't recognise anybody at all, actually. So I do apologise if your name is down there and I don't. Ben Davis, he went out on loan, so that was the time he went out on loan. But 337 million. So they're showing their intent then, preparing for the Premiership. So Mike Doherty from Reading. He's 21 years old. Looks pretty decent. 2 seasons, 3 goals. Yeah, not too bad. Nothing great to shout about. Espinoza from Porto. 22 years old, so you can actually see their content now, can't you, really? 4 goals, 8 assists. Malcolm, they've got Bird from Derby, Swansea. Milovanovic, Fender, very nice indeed. They are definitely making their making their intent known, aren't they? Alexander Stewart, we got Harris, Benjamin there. Yeah, so a lot of players that they have been saving the money, that's for sure. So the season that they were in the Premiership, £81 million spent this time round. 21 million on this chap Gorley from Norwich. Yeah, looks all right, doesn't he? A lot of other players in there. Again, I do apologise if I don't know any of them. But Ibrahim Mane went for 18 million. Peric's gone for 14. So some of these guys, Charlie Cresswell, Pape Ndoye, Pennant. We've got Tutu. Yeah, so again, I'm assuming these are regens or what have you. Or they could be real players. Unfortunately, I'm not sure of any of them. But yeah, the transfers not too bad at all. Just have a quick look at their squad at the moment. So the season's only just finished, but let's just have a look at who they have got. I mean, we don't know any of these players really, to be perfectly honest. Who's their best player at the moment? Alexander Stewart. Very nice. 63 million. What did they get him for? 35. So yeah, he looks pretty decent actually. Not bad at all. So they're going to make a push to win it next season. I don't think they've ever missed not being Espinoza, the Mexican. Looks very nice. So their most valued player at the moment is Stewart, then Pina, the Nut, and Harris. Very good indeed. Right, let's have a look who's actually currently in, well, was or is in charge of the club. So if we just have a look at managers, see what's happened. Pep Guardiola, he was sacked after 10 years, 136 days. He was actually sacked with 8 league wins and 16 cup wins. Why did they sack him? They got promoted from Vanarama and they sacked him in that year. Very odd indeed. He had a 91% win percentage as well. Games won 361, drawn 19, lost 14 games, and they sack him. Why would you do that? Why? This guy here, he only had a couple of games, 33 win percentage, 2 losses out of 3. That's bad. He left the caretaker position. At the moment, currently, ignore myself on top, but currently they are with Colin Calderwood, 5 years there. And what's he done? 1 league win and a cup win. I'm assuming they are in the well, they are in the Premiership. So did he get them to the? He must have got them to the Premiership in the end. But I think it might have been when City came near the bottom of the League 2, I guess, when they really struggled. Maybe that's when they got rid of him. Who knows? But 51% win percentage. They've lost 79 games, but they have won 150, drawn 63. Not an awful lot. Not as much as Pep, though. That has to be said. Just out of interest, I don't think I did it with Man United. But let's just have a quick look what wages are at the moment. So if you scroll it right down. So at the moment, finances, net spend, salary per annum. So currently, £93 million per annum in salaries. United 223, Chelsea 268. So there's a big comparison. But they've had a big rebuild. And yeah. They've done relatively well. To get back into the Premiership is really good. And they've done relatively well to finish 6th in the first season. So well done to them. But it has taken them considerably longer. 2 seasons longer than it did Man United. And I think they finished a lot better than what Man United did as well in the first season. So, but even so, as it stands at the moment, United, 9 seasons to get there. And Man City 11. So currently United are leading the way. Next up is going to be, I think, Liverpool. That will be out very shortly. But for the time being, 2 experiments down as the race to the Premiership. Man United leading the way. Man City do get there eventually. Just taking them a little while longer. But even so, this one is ended. Quickly move on to the next one. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please click a like on there. If you want to see more new to the channel, please subscribe. And until next time, folks, thank you very much for watching. Thank you.